first off.
Okay, way to jingle around with your keys.
I had to move my keys from my pocket.
Okay.
Audio catastrophe so far. But
Terrible.
So Joe,
Antonio.
I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
Why do you want to do this?
Why do I want to do what?
Make a podcast. Like what's got you interested in this kind of thing?
As a individual who likes to make things in general through various forms of mediums,
Such as
like video, audio, music, then like physical objects,
such as
like working with wood, working with metal, those types of
numerous
things.
knives you make, because you might be a psychopath.
I might be a psychopath.
We don't know yet.
We're finding that out.
The test results have not come in yet.
Anyways, so I'm also a consumer of podcasts and video, and so I figured it'd be a natural progression to combine these things.
2 + 2, that equals 4.
2
That's what
plus
we're talking
2
about
equals podcast.
Beautiful answer.
Thank
Lovely.
You. What attracts you to this?
Me? Oh, I've just been listening to podcasts for a while now. I'm like, hey, I can do that.
Uh-huh.
I like to. This has always interested me when it comes to podcasts, any sort of media, and I thought this would be the most appropriate one. And I have you here with me, so I thought, well, this boy can do a podcast. I can do a podcast. This will be fun.
I agree.
Okay. What is this whole thing we're doing here, by the way?
In which way?
What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
You're an asshole. What are we doing on this podcast? What are we here to bring to the people?
We're asking questions, and we're going to attempt to answer them.
Sounds like a lot of podcasts, actually.
It does.
Okay.
This is so unoriginal, and we're just going to see what happens.
You know what? Who said you need originality? Look at Hollywood nowadays. They're making millions.
Billions.
Billions.
Dude, we got how many Star Wars?
And more to come.
This is true.
By the way, are you excited for the new Star Wars?
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Where I never look into movies now. Like, I don't go and watch their trailers and things.
Okay.
Because they like to spoil the movies in the trailers now.
That's true.
Which I don't like. So I never really look into movies. I just go for what I have heard about the quality of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes out and people say it's good, I'll go and see it.
Right. That's genuinely how it
I'm
is.
assuming that it's going to be good. Last one was good, so we'll see.
No, they were talking about it with the director. He was like, hey, if you want to go into this movie with fresh eyes, don't watch the trailer. But it's a good trailer.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting because I wanted to see it. But what are you going to do? I'm actually, honestly, not excited about the movie.
No? Why not?
I'm burnt out on Star Wars already. It's been 2 movies, man.
See,
done.
You have to put no emphasis on the in-betweener movies and only look forward to 7, 8, 9.
I can't get excited for the new Han Solo movie.
No.
I'm not excited for that at all.
Like
That
Rogue
doesn't look
One.
good.
You can't go into Rogue One being like, this is it, with all the hype that you have for actual Star Wars movies.
Right. Only the main movies are what you can get
not
excited
these
about.
fakers that they've been making on the side, pumping out for that sweet, sweet gold.
Would you be interested in a Boba Fett movie?
A Boba Fett movie?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I'm going to let you in on a secret
Give
here.
it to me.
I don't know very much about Star Wars at all.
Yeah.
I just know Boba Fett's a guy with a cool helmet.
He was hardly in the movies, and now he's everybody's favorite character. And now they're like, we got to make a movie about him.
Oh, man.
Which isn't good, in my opinion. Maybe in the extended universe, he has some character development. But that's in the extended universe.
It's not canon.
Yeah, it
does not count.
Not canon anymore. Also, I'd say 99% of the people don't read past the movies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So how Boba Fett became their favorite character, God knows. God knows.
Okay.
Okay.
What are other movies that are coming out?
Other movies that are coming out?
Yeah.
A new Guillermo del Toro movie.
What?
Guillermo del Toro?
No clue.
He's a very good actor. He did director. He did Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim. He didn't do Pacific Rim 2. But yeah, he is coming out with a new movie that looks extremely interesting to me. This guy.
Okay.
Guillermo del Toro. The Shape of Water.
Okay.
The Shape of Water. It's just a very interesting movie. It's like a scientist. This is what I remember from the trailer. It might not be 100% correct, but there's a scientist that they find this underwater aquatic humanoid creature, and then it develops into some sort of love story and things like that.
Of course, naturally.
I know. It's weird. I mean, look at that. That's the poster, if it tells you anything about it.
Okay.
it looks extremely interesting, and all of his movies to me are always very good.
Is this like just the muscles of a man?
That looks to me as a fish man.
Man, if only this was in higher quality.
Who needs higher quality? That's a fish man.
It's a fish man hugging a woman.
Yeah, underwater.
Okay.
It's the shape of water.
I'm not sure that's a great representation of how water gets its shape.
I think it is.
I agree.
And any movies coming out? Not really. Star Wars we mentioned.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
It's like maybe after Thanksgiving we'll hear about stuff. People like to pump out movies around Christmas time.
That's true. That's the Oscar rush they're going for because they have to get it in before the end of the year.
But, like, do you ever go and watch movies around Christmas time?
If I do, it's by myself, and it's always kind of a sad thing. Kind of like when I went to see Your Name, and it's an anime movie, and there were me, 5 other people. All of us individually came by ourselves. Nobody had a second person. It was all of us just hanging out.
Of course.
It felt weird. Great movie, though. Great movie.
Yeah.
Baby Driver came out this year.
Baby Driver was very good.
Great movie.
Probably my favorite.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Of this year, my favorite so far.
So here's the question.
Give it to me.
So, you know how people will always be like, oh, so-and-so is in this movie.
Okay.
For me, I feel like, as I've grown, a lot of people will talk about the actors and things, but it's like, it matters to me more now who directed the movie.
Yeah, generally. Because you can have, what I found out is you can have great actors in a shitty movie, but you can have okay actors in a great movie if the director knows how to direct.
Yeah.
Because if they can lead them the right way, I think it'll work out generally.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Same actors, every movie, except for the one part where Crabbe becomes a black guy for some reason.
What?
It's either Crabbe or Goyle, one of those kids. They're like side characters. They're like vaguely bullies. But in one of the movies, he's just black now.
I remember that.
He used to be some chubby kid, and then he just became black. But anyways, so same actors.
Really, puberty hit him hard.
Really hard. Hit him right in the nads. But so same actors, but there's good Harry Potter movies. There's bad Harry Potter movies. And it's because of the director's change.
I think the beginning movies, first one was okay. And then I think it really got good after the second one.
I think first and second one had the same director.
I thought
Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the one with Sirius Black and everything. I think that's the best Harry Potter movie.
You know what I did not like? Half-Blood Prince.
Okay, yeah.
Didn't like that movie for some reason.
That's the fifth one?
That's fifth.
I did not like the fifth one.
It just was kind of boring to me, and I remember walking out at the theater. I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And like you should like every movie as a young kid.
Yeah.
Walked out to my dad. I was like, I didn't like that movie whatsoever.
When I was little, I had no clue what was a good movie and what wasn't. We went to see Space Chimps. I don't know if you know anything about Space Chimps. I don't know anything about Space Chimps, and I watched it. I don't know that there is anything to know about Space Chimps. What is the plot?
Space Chimps was so... It seems like a fever dream now if you think about it.
Yes.
Like, what was another movie that was like that? Sing.
Yes.
It was like, there was no coherent plot to it.
No.
It was just a series of events animated into a movie.
Yeah.
That one.
All I remember about Sing is how the woman pig came home to her husband pig, and her husband pig was such a jerk, and it pissed me off.
You were so mad about that. We were on a bus going to Virginia, and we were
going to Tennessee.
And you were so mad about that.
I was.
I get it's upsetting, but it's an animated movie.
I know. It just makes me so mad. I can't help it.
I didn't like it, especially because it pandered
to
every single aspect. You could have come from any walk of life, and you would have been relatable. Any of these characters are relatable to you, which is not how a movie should be, in my opinion. It's either an action movie kind of thing where it's like it's a Tom Cruise kind of guy, blank slate, literally nothing good about him, but you can project yourself onto him, or you make him a nice, reliable character that's like, oh, I see aspects of myself in them, or things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, and you probably don't have a good character.
No.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Here's another quick one. This is sort of an interview at the moment.
Let's go. Well, we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning
together.
As friends.
This is an introduction.
I guess so.
To personality types.
You told me you were a big fan of podcasts.
Uh-huh.
What do you think you would recommend to anybody if they were like, I need a podcast I want to listen to. I don't know what to get into, and I've always liked the idea of them.
Okay. A podcast that I think anyone can jump into and learn to, or the podcasts that I enjoy.
Let's start with ones that you think everyone can get into, and then things that other people would, that like you personally enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right, ones I think anybody could get into and enjoy. Jake and Amir, originally from College Humor, left College Humor, and they started a podcast network, the Headgum Network. Their podcast, their shtick, it's called If I Were You. People email them questions and ask for advice. Something like that, I feel like is really relatable for everybody, just because you hear about other people's stories and you can kind of feel like, hey, my life's not that screwed up.
Right.
But so then they give advice. They're both comedians, like professionally, which I think makes it really funny. It's just a good way. It's just a good podcast to get into. Plus, there's already so much of it that already exists. They know what they know what they're doing.
Right.
They've made like hundreds of episodes.
Oh God, if you have the time, watch as many episodes as
They're
you possibly can.
almost
they're so
at
good.
episode 300 right now.
No, not just of the podcast. I mean like Jake and Amir on College Humor.
Jake and Amir on College Humor. Their Headgum videos, it's like, I want their Headgum videos to be something different than Jake and Amir, but it's still such Jake and Amir humor.
You can't.
I still like them. They're high quality. They're funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's hard to get away from that though, because they're so good at what they do.
This is true.
That if they went to something else, I'm sure they could do it. But they did what for like 4 or 5 years? They did it.
Might have been longer than
College
that.
Humor.
Might have been 6 or 7.
It was so long.
It was a long time.
I mean, it was weekly, and they did it for so long, and they got their formula down.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of podcast anyone could get into, though, because it's something relatable. But like, as far
I think Hello Internet, you could do that as well.
Hello Internet's another good one. CGP Grey from the YouTube channel CGP Grey.
Shocking.
Brady Heron from Number File, from Computer File, Objectivity. He's got his hands in everything. They have a podcast, Hello Internet. It's a pretty popular podcast where it's similar-ish to what we're doing. Two dudes talking.
Yeah.
They just sit down, bring topics to the table, and they talk about those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's essentially what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Except we might not be as interesting as them.
That's true. Probably not.
Not
we don't
quite
exactly have like interesting careers or anything that we can talk about.
Yet.
Oh.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll have some later.
But so podcasts that those ones I think are good. Like, I don't want to say beginner podcasts, but like something to get you into listening to podcasts.
Yeah. Especially with some of these, like Hello Internet can be an hour long.
Yeah.
Jake and Amir is nice and short, but it can be fatiguing at times, and having like two personalities that you can like really get into, I think really helps out a lot.
Yeah.
I can get into that.
But then as far as podcasts that are either slightly more niche or like just things that
pronounced Nietzsche.
Things podcasts that I listen to consistently, because like I'll find a new podcast, I'll listen to one episode, I'll be like, I like this podcast, and then I'll never listen to that podcast again. But so like ones that I actually go back and I listen to consistently.
Yep.
Cortex, another CGP Grey one, but it's with Mike Hurley from the Relay FM network. He's co-owner of it, co-founder.
Oh wow.
It's kind of like a productivity podcast. It's interesting. I like it as a student. How can it kind of apply to me doing my own work? Making it with Bob Claggett, Jimmy DiResta, and some guy whose name I cannot tell you. But they're YouTubers who have like woodworking is centric to their YouTube channels. So they have a podcast together, the three of them, where they just talk about the projects they're working on, what's going on like in their lives. That one's kind of neat because you kind of learn like the man behind the mask. You learn more about these people who are just kind of interesting. They do cool things, especially like Jimmy DiResta. He works on TV shows. He's got his YouTube channel, just like all kinds of stuff like that. And then my last podcast that I listen to consistently is still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. Adam Savage. Pretty much everybody knows Adam Savage.
If you don't, look him up.
Mythbusters for a very long time. Him
Saw them live. Mythbusters live.
Oh, did you?
It was such a cool show.
You know what? You could have seen live.
I could have seen Brain Candy live.
But no, you couldn't get off work.
I did. That was such a shit show when it came to things. Oof. It almost worked out.
Almost.
But it didn't.
We'll get back to Brain Candy at some point.
We'll circle around.
But still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. He has a YouTube channel now called Tested. pretty high quality videos. I like it. I really watch it mostly because he does like 1-day builds.
Mm-hmm.
But
those are fun to watch.
Yeah, those are really cool. He's got a podcast with a few people. They have some other people on there, like Simone. I'm drawing a blank on her last name. She has her own YouTube channel where she just builds like awful robots that just do stupid crap.
I like that.
Like she built like an ass wiping robot once. Very funny.
Did she make like a ketchup robot recently or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
I think I remember seeing something like that. Did I watch the video? No. Did I see it?
All you need to do is see the thumbnail, and you're qualified to express any opinion that you want about this video.
Essentially nowadays, I think that's what all we have to do.
Okay,
Me.
Podcast. Hit me with them. First off, podcasts that you think are easy to get into.
Easy to get into? Well, for my podcast are kind of a little bit different. I have audio drama-centric podcasts at times, and some like. But if we want to talk about easy listening, fun things, my brother and me, by the McElroy brothers, that's always a fun one to listen to, and you don't have to start anywhere specifically. It's just it's an advice show for the modern era, as they say. And another thing by them is their D&D podcast, which is always interesting. It's the three brothers and their dad who don't know how to play D&D. Well, they didn't. Now they do. And they just play it and figure it out. Start on episode 1 on that if you ever want to listen to it. Super fun to listen to. But if we want to go into more like actual audio dramas, the No Sleep podcast.
Okay.
That was started from the No Sleep Reddit forum by David Cummings, and he has gotten a slew of voice actors now. They're on season 9, about to end season 9. I think this week is the season finale, and that's just so fun to listen to.
Do they just read things from r/no sleep?
So it was originally just r/no sleep, and then it became into things that like actual popular authors, from the forums and whatnot, they submit themselves, or they go on other places. I forget exactly where they're from, but they get as many audio things as they can of as many stories. They read them off. It used to be just them straight up talking. Now they have like 2 composers on the team. They have, I think, at least 10 voice actors that's consistently being changed out. And some of them, I mean, if you want to get into a story, Feed the Pig is one of the best from a audio standpoint, a soundscape, story itself, all of it. Just an amazing thing to listen to first. Also another thing, Darkest Night.
Okay.
It's another audio podcast. This one is more story-based, so you start at episode 1 and go forward. And it's the Rothloptic Institute of something. I forget the name. It's too long. But what they do is they have this experiment where they can get the body of a recently deceased person, take out their eye, take out a fluid from that, and then they can see what they saw before they died.
Yeah.
And it's seen, what happened before then, and how they died, and it delves into this whole conspiracy and everything. And a lot of those are 2 horror-based podcasts, or another D&D podcast. Oh, man. Also, Spotify needs to get more podcasts on there because I hate going back and forth between podcasts and Spotify. I prefer everything on one thing. What's this one? 4 Orbs, just another D&D fun podcast to get into. I'm always a fan of the H3 podcast.
Yeah.
I love listening to them.
See, I won't like listen to every episode that comes out, but if one comes out and it's got like a cool person on it, I'll go and watch it. I feel like I'm more like, if I'll listen to podcasts with people that I know, a lot of whom are from YouTube and stuff. Speaking of which, hit me up with some people on YouTube.
I just want to say, a defunct podcast, Cool Games Inc. There's a controversy about one of the hosts, but if you get past that, it's a fun podcast to listen to. They get submissions from either Twitter or Reddit, and then like just a name, and they try to make a game around it.
Okay.
Just a concept. They never actually try to do anything. YouTube.
Yeah.
This. We're gonna start off with one of my. I gotta go on my computer and do this because data's turned off.
On
my phone. Casey Neistat.
Of course.
100%. Always start off with him. I love his videos. Always have. He's one of the reasons I want to get into photography and learn more about that kind of stuff. You start us off, dude. You have it pulled up right now.
Okay.
Casey Neistat. We'll start off with that, and then you keep us going.
I have like several interests that I like to bring in, and so YouTube is a good place because there's something for everybody on YouTube in the way that like Reddit is. There's like a community for every interest you can have. So for me, YouTube organizes your things based on like most frequently viewed or most recently viewed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But most relevant apparently. So going from, I'll go through like the first several of them. The Brain Scoop is a YouTube channel that's through the Chicago Field Museum with Emily Grassley, who's just a pretty interesting person. She started off out of Montana, working at the Montana Natural History and Science Museum, and she started a Tumblr blog called The Brain Scoop. Eventually got turned into a YouTube show by Hank Green, and now she's working through the Chicago Field Museum. They recently worked with the Denver Field Museum. Next, Alex Steele. He's a blacksmith from the UK. He's just really cool. He's got a big personality. The UK's fake. That's not real. What are you talking about? But he's got like a really big personality. He loves Texas, so if that tells you anything about the kind of person he is. His videos are just really energetic, fun to watch. He makes really cool things. Vsauce, another educational channel. I really like Michael Stevens is a very cool person in general. I think he's hilarious. He's done a lot of cool things. Like the Ear Biscuit podcast with Rhett and Link. That's the podcast that got me into podcasts. And so he was on one of the early episodes. It's like 13 or 15 or something like that.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Oh, yeah. It's still going, but nobody really talks about it. But way back, Michael Stevens was on that podcast, and he was just talking about, like, when he was a kid, he was a piece of shit. He was the class clown. One time, he got suspended from school because his friend would always wear his shirt tucked in. So he went to go make fun of this kid by tucking in his shirt. So him, being young, he just unzipped his pants. His teacher stopped him right there, and he got a suspension for sexual harassment.
That makes sense.
But, like, this teacher was trying to get him in trouble, is the thing. It's just funny. I think he's a cool person. Michael Stevens.
That what?
Yeah, that was Michael Stevens.
So I kind of blanked out on the name real quick, and I was like, oh, that's what boys do.
Yeah, that was Michael Stevens.
That doesn't...
Yeah, when he was a chubby little kid, and that's what he did. He was the class clown. But I like his videos. They've gotten longer. A lot of people on the Vsauce subreddit are very upset with Michael because he, like, doesn't make as many things, and he had his whole Minefield series, which is a paid thing. But it's like, if you look at the production quality of that,
right,
he doesn't have the resources to make that.
I'd rather have quality over quantity when it comes to anything.
Yeah,
if you
they're long videos too. Yeah. He makes half-hour videos.
If you push out garbage to me, I mean, I'd rather have one video every 2 months that's a half-hour long than 4 videos every 2 months, and they're like 10 minutes, but like they're really not that well researched or things like that.
He's about, like,
Minefield is fun.
For the last, he's had one 2 months ago, a video 3 months ago, and then 8 months ago. That was when they were doing Brain Candy. Adam Savage, Michael Stevens they had a live show called Brain Candy. When they were doing that, they had a lot of promotions for it. They made a video. They just have a lot of cool stuff with that. But his videos have decreased in frequency, but I think he increased in quality. Beyond that, a person...
Why is PewDiePie so high up?
Why is PewDiePie so high up?
Yeah.
He puts out a ton of content.
He does.
Is the thing. So it's like, if you watch one, plus so many people watch his things,
that's true.
YouTube forces him on you. YouTube as a company even though hates PewDiePie.
Yeah, they're trying to, like, push him away, but they're like, he's bringing in a lot of people.
The algorithm pushes PewDiePie on you. The company of YouTube, Google, hate PewDiePie.
I absolutely hate the way YouTube has gone and the sort of, like, advertisement thing. I want to say something real quick.
Hit me with it.
They were talking about demonetizing, like, Casey Neistat and people like that for even talking about the Vegas shooting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, our advertisers, they won't allow that. They don't like that. But if you look at, like, CNN or something like that, those same people are advertising all the time while they're playing. I don't like that. But let's move on past that, because that's just no good.
That's a rabbit hole that we'll get into at some other point.
And it's been explained so many times. It's just another drop in the bucket of angry people.
So next, a guy that I actually think is really interesting. He doesn't have, like, a huge YouTube channel or anything, but
you don't need a huge YouTube channel.
No, he's got 26,000 subs. He's riding a unicycle around the world.
Ah.
He's raising money for some charity.
How's he gonna get across the ocean?
He's raising money for some charity. So his rule is he either unicycles or walks everywhere until he hits an ocean. Then he'll take a plane or a boat.
And he'll ride it like on the plane and stuff.
Yeah, he'll just do circles on the plane on this unicycle. No, he'll take the plane or the boat until land again.
You know, I can ride a unicycle.
Do I know how to ride a unicycle?
Well, do you?
Kind of, but I'm not good at it.
I'm pretty good at it.
I know.
I used to be really good at it.
I have seen you ride a unicycle.
So good.
But so he started off in the UK. He went from the UK across Europe, all the way across to Asia. Then he took a boat from Asia to Australia. He's 20 days away from completing Australia, which like sounds like a long time, but unicycling across Australia, 20 days is not that much more time left.
What kind of unicycle does he have? Like,
He has, I think it's like a 36-inch tall unicycle. I think it's his grandpa made special hardware that fits on his unicycle so that he can carry all of this stuff with him.
Like that?
Yeah, unicycle.com.
Yeah.
He puts them in a lot. He really likes their stuff. I don't think they're sponsoring him, but
I'm sure they should.
They probably should.
Plugging him.
Yeah, he just talks about how great their stuff is. That's a really interesting one, just because I think it's so cool. He meets really interesting people who just like stop him. They're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm unicycling around the world," and it's just he meets a lot of cool people and stuff.
Freestyle, cruise, commuter, and touring trail. There's a unicycle for everything.
Oh yeah, there is. I looked very deeply into mountain unicycling for a while. I think that's insanely cool.
That would be one of the greatest workouts in the world.
Yes.
Because not only would you have to get up things, your fucking core.
Yes.
Your core you'd be ripped.
Oh yeah.
You'd be done. I almost got myself. I had a unicycle for a while. It was Mike Bradley's, a friend of ours, and I had that for a long time. I rode it a lot of places, as a matter of fact. And I almost looked into buying one. Never did. Then I saw. Ever seen an electric unicycle?
No, oh yeah, the little.
Yeah, they're so cool.
I'll disagree with you.
I think they're cool. I love the idea of them. But would I ever get one? No way.
Okay, yeah.
No. If I'm going electric, I'm going like a boosted board or something like that.
See, electric unicycle, I cannot get behind.
Why?
Boosted board, I cannot. It just looks stupid to me.
It's
like a hoverboard, but with one big wheel.
Yeah, cool, huh?
And it's not even like a one wheel, which is cool, but
one wheel.
Is
that the one like?
It's like
wheel?
A board with a one wheel in the middle.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then the motor is inside the wheel. All right. Hit me up with your YouTube creator suggestions.
Oh, I'm not. I have a very wide array of things. I've had this YouTube subscription.
You have a wide array. Did you hear the things that I just listed?
But
educational.
That's true.
I had blacksmithing, unicycling around the world.
My YouTube is very normie, to say the least. It's just, I'll quickly go through them. If you're looking for anything music-wise, actually, Ad O'Neilly makes pretty good videos when it comes to that. At least videos that are interesting, because that was always a problem with me when it came to anything music, like on YouTube. They're boring, man.
Yeah.
They suck. I don't know why.
He makes it interesting.
He does make it
He also has, like, an immense amount of knowledge about this stuff. His education, he knows what he's talking about.
If you ever want to get into anything with voice acting or anything like that, Mike Reviews, Booth Junkie. He's actually one of the Mike Delgadio. He's one of the voice actors on No Sleep Podcast. That's how I found out about this. Like his YouTube channel, he's very, very easy to listen to. Casey Neistat, CGP Grey. I'm sure we've mentioned before.
Some CGP
we
Grey.
all have to mention him. If we don't get one shout out from one of these people, I'm mad.
We're not going to get one shout out from a single one of these people, so you can get mad right now.
I know. You know what was really good that put out 9 videos? Court of Source.
Oh, yeah?
I really liked his videos.
I've never looked into any of that.
It's just like they took a look at like theories or things like that and like delved deep into the sources to see if they're actually viable and whatnot. It was interesting. He's stopped, sadly.
Oh, wow.
But he's that kind of stuff. Anything with video gaming, Downward Thrust is comprehensive things that are interesting to watch. Needle drop when it comes to music reviews. He had a meme channel called That Is the Plan, defunct now because he was ousted as a right-wing person, sadly, even though none of it happened. None of it was true. And a lot of it's just, I mean, if I have, what?
Do you have any, like, small channels?
Small channels, Imaginary Ambition.
Okay.
Super fun. He takes what people do, like their music styles, and shows you how to make it, a parody of it. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Internet comment etiquette.
Of course.
Obviously. Captain Christian. he's one of my favorite, like with Nerdwriter video essays. But if we want like a smaller channel that I think I might like a little more, Mr. Amazing.
Okay.
His video editing style is awesome. He's just a 17-year-old kid who's like, in my opinion, he's a pretty smart guy when he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all common stuff up in here. It's Joe Rogan. I don't know why you don't like him. I like Joe Rogan.
I don't really like Joe Rogan.
I like listening to the people who he has on, like Joey Diaz. He's so fun to listen to.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's really it. There's not much here.
I'm gonna put out a couple of small channels here.
Oh yeah, okay.
So one, okay. First off, Wheezy Waiter. He's been making YouTube videos.
Since the beginning.
He's been on YouTube since like YouTube was a thing.
What does he have?
He has 579,000.
What? He's been around for like 10 years maybe.
He puts out videos really high quality, but he doesn't get a whole lot of views or like a whole lot of promotion. He and another guy then have an educational channel that was or still is. It was or still is a PBS one, and it's called The Good Stuff. They just talk about different things. Why does life need water? Can NASA stop an asteroid? Those kinds of things. That's a really good one. Also an educational one. Another one that I really like, Not Exactly Normal, with Dylan Debut, I think is how his last name's pronounced. That's a really good one. His is educational. He just talks about like strange things that happens, like Oceanic Airlines, which you might recognize as being like in movies and things. And it's because Oceanic Airlines isn't a real airline, where they couldn't put like something like Delta Airlines and then crash their plane, because that doesn't look good for a Delta. So they do Oceanic Airlines as in movies a lot, and it's become sort of like an Easter egg kind of thing, where they just put it in there because it's something that's known. Shredder Tube. This is a guy, his day job is, he's only got about 9,000 subscribers. His day job is like, he helps other people promote their YouTube channel, which kind of sounds strange considering he only has like 9,000 subs. But he's been making videos for not that long, and it's like every time he puts out a video, his sub count goes up dramatically.
Really?
Yeah. So he's cool. He does a lot of like outdoorsy things. Like he made a DIY skydiving helmet. He goes and he like climbs things, goes crazy places. Soliloquy, another educational YouTube channel. This one, I don't know. They've got like 50,000 subs. He just makes
50,000. That's how the cool kids say it nowadays.
Well, quite. He makes cool ones. I'm trying to look here.
Waste Time. You ever heard of them?
See, I used to like Waste Time.
I like Waste Time.
I don't like Waste Time anymore.
Why is that?
Because they started making top 10 lists.
That's true. I don't like the top 10 list. Though their first video is honestly what got me hooked on how and why you could make your own internet. I love seeing the statistics on, not statistics, like what it would be and whatnot. But I mean, in this day and age, you got to make a top 10 video if you're on YouTube, one way or another. I mean, there's not too many here. There's a 2, 3, 4, maybe like 3 or 4. Not even that, like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Man, it really doesn't take much to kill a channel for you, does it?
No.
No, one bad video and you're out of here.
Oh, a good one.
Joe Young ain't gonna deal with that.
A good one is Legacy Effects. They're a special effects company. They've worked on like some pretty highbrow films. Like I'm pretty sure they've worked on like some Marvel films, those kinds of things. That's really interesting. I think they worked on Jurassic Park, the most recent one. They had a video of making a giant puppet dinosaur as a practical effect for Chris Pratt to interact with.
Right.
That was very cool.
Anything FX is always super interesting to listen to or watch.
A channel that isn't a small channel, Julian Smith. He used to make a lot of videos. They were very funny, and it's like he just doesn't put anything out anymore.
Why is that?
I don't know. He posted a thing on Instagram a while back where he took 6 months off the internet. He used like a flip phone and stuff, grew a big beard. He went crazy for a little bit. Yeah. That kind of thing.
We all need to every once in a while.
This is true.
I love disconnecting from anything in life. Like when we go up north to our aunt's cabin, I said that weird. Aunt's cabin. she has no internet out there, no
Yep.
TV, no nothing. So we have to not fend for ourselves, I was gonna say, but it's just
make
nice
your
to,
own fun.
Yeah, it's nice to disconnect from everything.
Yeah.
I generally just get in the hammock and read. That's always a nice easy
Yeah.
thing to do. But I absolutely love doing that. But then after a week, I'm like, I want to go back. It's good for just for a hot second. Breast shape hill. Why is that? Ever heard those articles? It's just an article about breast shaped hills.
Are you trying to do a bit?
No. I'm not fucking with you.
No, like, are you starting a new bit?
We could. This could be the start. I don't know.
All right.
That's the thing.
Let's
Do I have much to say about it? No. But am I filling the void with noise? Yeah.
Okay.
Breast-shaped hills.
Breast
come
shaped
along.
hill. Hit me with
Let
it.
me get you a little thing of breast-shaped hills. Boom, right
First
there.
off, tell me what brought you here.
Joe and I occasionally
Equationally.
like to browse the Wikipedia unusual articles section.
Wikipedia : unusual articles,
articles.
sometimes known as that Wikipedia list.
And one of them, just one page, breast as the boob, shaped as a shape,
Yeah.
and the hills
As in a
as
geographical
a
feature.
geographical hill.
Uh-huh.
It's just a breast-shaped hill. It's a mountain in the shape of a woman's breast. That's it. That's what this whole article is about, and it's just listing them.
Not the Wikipedia : unusual articles.
No,
that
that'll-
is a Wikipedia page of unusual Wikipedia articles. One of which is breast-shaped hills.
And I don't know why this had to be a thing, because if you think about it, almost all hills are kind of breast-shaped.
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
But
Even-
like, if you look at these pictures, there's some that it's like,
some of these are like, that's a boob right
Yeah.
there. But other times, it's like, that's a mountain with maybe a small little thing on top, so it looks like a nipple. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, even like, let's say a big mountain. What's a big mountain? Mount Everest.
Okay.
If you look at it the right way, this boob-like.
vaguely. Yeah.
Triangle boobs.
Uh-huh.
But they're there.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure why this was dedicated, but it has brought me a little bit of joy in life to know that this is a thing.
Any other articles that you
Right now that I am well versed in, not at all.
No.
No.
Lame. We need to we'll look further into
Well,
Wikipedia :
this will be-
unusual articles.
This will be an occurring thing, a
Okay.
reoccurring
It'll occur.
thing. Every once in a while it'll happen. I mean, technically it will occur, but a reoccurring thing.
It'll recur.
I mean, we're this far on the podcast, and we really what this is we're gonna bring things to the table we'd like to talk about that we thought people should want to hear. That's really it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know. After listening to a half hour of us talk about stupid garbage, but enjoy.
Anyway, okay. So
What's up?
for me, article that I really think is interesting on the Wikipedia : unusual articles, quantum immortality.
Give it to me.
So if you know anything about the Schrodinger's cat paradox, I slaughtered that word, but I'm gonna gloss over that.
No, we're not. We're going back. You appointed. I was gonna be like, I'll let it go this one time, maybe this once. Oh man, what is it now? Oh,
Hold up.
Schrodinger's.
It-
Schrodinger's cat.
I'm gonna get a pronunciation on this real quick.
Schrodinger.
I'm going to get
It's
a pronunciation
100%
on this.
Schrodinger. Also, Ragged Ass Road. That's gonna be next week. Remind me, Siri. Put a reminder in.
Okay.
Schrodinger.
Okay, so I guess you're
Schrödinger.
right.
If we want to do the German pronunciation, Schrodinger.
Okay, Schrodinger's
There
cat
you
paradox.
It's your autism.
It's quiet, you. So there's a cat in a box. You open the box. Either the cat is alive or dead.
You glossed over something.
There's like dynamite in the box too.
A vial like
A vial of
activity.
radioactive stuff that could either kill the cat or not kill the cat. You open the box. The cat's either alive or dead. So beyond this, there's the multiverse theory in physics, where they say for every decision that's made, 2 universes are simultaneously created, one of which you experience and another in which a different version of you experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So you open this box and 2 universes are simultaneously created out of this, where one in which the cat lives and another in where the cat doesn't. So you go into the universe where the cat's living, you redo the experiment. You open it again, a new set of 2 universes are created, one where the cat lives, one where it doesn't. You keep doing this, and if you think about it, there's always a universe in which the cat is alive. So you could then say, if you keep doing this infinitely, the cat will live infinitely.
Right.
So quantum immortality is saying that for every time you die, there's another universe in which you did not just die.
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool.
realistically,
Whoa.
well, not realistically, theoretically, you could live infinitely.
Yeah.
Because each time 50-50 new universe is created where you did not just die.
Another thing I like about the Schrodinger cat thing is that also it's not that the fact that it's just the branching off thing, but in the moment before that, you're technically the in between, kind of living in 2 universes if you think about it. One where it is dead, one where it's not dead. You don't know which one it is.
Well, that's the whole quantum level where something can exist in 2 states, and you don't observe it in one state or another until you actually look at it. Right. And then at that moment in time, it's in one of 2 states. But there's a universe where it's in state A and a universe where it's in state B.
Right. I love listening to anything like that.
Yeah. All right.
Joseph, do you have anything to say to us?
Okay.
Okay.
So the Nobel Prize in Physics.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know anything.
No.
Recently, the Nobel Prizes. You know some things, but I don't know if you know anything about the Nobel Prize in Physics. Was recently awarded. So splitting a Nobel Prize is a normal thing to do, right? So they have a Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize. There we go. I can talk. Trust me.
Slowly but surely.
So they split it, divided amongst different teams that worked on this. So they split it, went to 2 separate groups. One group is just one guy, so he got half a Nobel Prize. The other group is 2 guys. So they then sub-split this other half of the Nobel Prize. So one guy gets a quarter, another guy gets a quarter, and then a third guy gets half a Nobel Prize. What is that trash? Did they only do half the work as the other guy? Probably not. They probably put a lot of work each one into this. I think split the Nobel Prize 3 ways. They each get a third.
Right. But I mean, I can kind of get it because if one person did half of the work and then 2 people did the other half of the work, right? I mean, that's why they would split it up that way. So why split it up 3 ways?
My understanding on this is that each person did a third of the work.
Oh, then
but
it should
2 people were working together as a team, and this other guy was not part of their group.
So if he was by himself, wouldn't he almost by default do more work because he's by himself?
Not necessarily. If it's a whole idea, and these 2 just associate with each other, and then the other guy does not associate with those 2 guys.
I want to follow up.
But they each do enough work.
I'll
do some more research on this.
Follow up on it.
We'll follow up on it next week.
Also, follow up on the ballpoint pen thing. I want to get more into that. I'm going to read into it. Get a whole paper written on it.
All right.
Now, Joe.
Okay.
You go to college.
I go to college.
That's a thing.
That's true.
Do you think people should go
to college?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
There's always an argument about that. I see it everywhere. Especially what I don't like, a lot of creators at times are like, oh, just skip the college thing. Just do it.
I have the opposite experience.
I hate that.
A lot of creators that I see are like, I dropped out of college. That's stupid. Don't do that. Things probably won't work out for you. I got really lucky.
Right.
So for me, I know right now a lot of people talk about trade schools and things.
Yeah.
Where electricians, plumbers, they're still in high demand, but there's less people going into these jobs now. So it's a good career option that you could do an apprenticeship for and end up still making good money. Where going to college, you have to spend a lot of money and you don't get a job as quickly.
Right.
So I understand why going to trade schools would be a good option for people. Either way, though, if you come out of high school, you're probably not going to be able to do a whole lot with your high school diploma. No. Unless you
not
are
anymore.
Unless you're some kind of entrepreneur, you know a lot to begin with and you have an idea a business you can create out of that,
Mm-hmm.
then that makes sense. But most people, you have to have some form of secondary education, either going to a college or going to like a trade school. So I don't think college is a necessity, but I do think that continuing your education beyond high school is important. College, however, will give you a more refined education in a specific area that's not quite as much practical,
Right.
like being an electrician or a plumber or a mechanic.
I heard about that recently too, and I think about it. It's only going to go higher up in demand, especially since I think a lot of people nowadays, and it'll only get worse, is that you don't ever want to do things yourself.
Yes.
It's a lot of hiring people.
You also don't know how to do things.
Exactly. And even though we have all the resources nowadays to figure out how to do those things, and with the shortage in people going to trade schools and whatnot, it's only going to get higher and higher. But right now, I think there's such a stigma around actually going to trade school, maybe becoming a plumber or electrician, that people just are scared to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a whole community college thing, which I experience on a daily, where the financially smart thing to do, in my opinion, when you're paying for school, is to go get the cheapest education you can for the longest amount of time that you can. So what I'm saying is go to college, at least community college, for at least 2 years.
Yep.
And then wherever you're going to graduate from, go 2 years there as well. Anywhere in between, you want to add more time at a regular university or at a community university.
A community college.
You do that. You can do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Well, it's not a community university. I think university, you have to have like a higher level of.
Yeah, probably.
They have to produce X amount of research, probably some amount of public funding.
I just said university, and the university came out as well, and I was like, I'm just going to roll with that. Joe doesn't allow me to.
No, I'm going to stop you in your tracks and make fun of you, because that's what I do.
And there's such a stigma around people going to community college that it stops, I think, a lot of people from going, which, if I could encourage anybody, I would. But also know that's not the end game. You kind of have to go past that. I remember I was talking to my dad about going to college, like you said, that you should further your education.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, it was you went to high school and you could have gotten a job and been done. And then when you went to college, that was the extra step. What he thinks nowadays is that it's like it's almost required to go to college or some sort of extra education. And then like the school after college, which I can't think of.
Graduate school?
Graduate school is like his college back then. That's what's really going to get you to that next step. Is that true? I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go to graduate school.
No, graduate school is a lot of more money and just more time until you're able to get a job. Because now,
is it worth it?
You could get out of college 21, 22, probably 22. You're out of college. You could get a job then. A lot, like engineers, a lot of that's a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
But then, like, if you get like me, in biology, get out after 4 years, what are you going to do with that? You're going to continue learning things, or you're going to go do research somewhere.
Right.
So, like...
Be a teacher.
If you do become a teacher, though, you get a 4-year degree in biology, you don't have your teaching certificate.
That's true.
So then you have to get a teaching education, too. That's where...
Isn't that 2 years, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, where I'm probably going to finish my 4-year degree in biology. I'm going to go and get a master's degree in teaching, which is 2 years usually. 1 year to get your teaching certificate, and then another year to get your actual master's in teaching.
So you're getting a degree in biology, master's in teaching, and then
and then beyond that, so I'd like to, as a teacher, probably at a high school level, be able to continue my biology education, like kind of behind the scenes, I guess. So then I'll work on like a master's in biology, be able to move up to like a community college level of teaching, and then if I have the time and the money, then work on a PhD. Also, the intelligence would be important.
Yeah.
But the PhD in biology, and be able to teach, work on becoming a professor at like a university.
Right. Now, what I like, well, I'm going to school for a double major in computer sciences and English. Used to be German. Not going to do that anymore. Don't know. Just doesn't interest me anymore. Don't know why. Then I'm sort of following the suit you're going into. 2 years getting my master's in teaching and whatnot. community college high school and community college. I don't know if I'd ever be a professor because I know you, if I recall correctly, you have to also be studying in your field and whatnot. And
you have to do a lot of research as a professor.
Don't know how I would feel about that, in all honesty.
Yeah.
About just continuing like that. Maybe I'd like it later in life, but at this time in my life, probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
A lot of people don't like research in general.
Mm-hmm.
They just get bored by it.
Yeah.
It's like you put something in a test tube, you sit there for like 2 hours waiting for something to happen.
Right.
And a lot of people just get bored.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done a lot of research.
But you're crazy enough to do something like that.
This is true. But so I'll have to look into something like that a little bit more. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do with my life later.
That's generally how it is. Later. It's going to happen later. I don't like when people say, drop everything you're doing and follow your dreams.
Yes.
Hate that so much. I get the appeal of it. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Follow the things you love in life and do those things.
Yep.
But there's a certain realities people have to live that you will most likely fail.
Yeah.
For every restaurant, there's like 100 that have failed.
Yes.
For every YouTube channel that you watch, there's a plethora of people uploading
For every
content.
random podcast that 2 kids start.
Exactly. There's 60 that have failed.
Us.
Us. Number 1. Top of the leaderboard. But that's the thing. That like this is sort of like a to say the least, a side hustle.
Okay.
And if you do that as a hobby or whatnot, and it becomes a viable career option, and you switch over to that, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd love to make music and whatnot, but I know that probably would never work out. Would I make music on the side? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely I love doing that.
You want to be an artist?
And
go to school, get a degree in business,
Boom.
Do art. That way, if you're a successful artist, you got a business degree. You can handle the money you're making.
Exactly.
If not, you have a business degree. You can work for a business.
Right. You got to go through college, make it your side thing you do.
Yep.
And if it flourishes, great. So proud of you. Do that. But if not, you got to like think about reality and think, hey, probably going to fail.
Yeah. Are we going to finish this up with an Ask Reddit bit?
Yeah, we can ask Reddit a little bit.
All right.
What's up?
Let's ask Reddit.
Let's ask Reddit.
It sounded like spy music. I think we should just make the transition you singing.
All right, what do we got? What? You,
I see now. I see where you got this bit from. Reddit. What's your argument for attending college?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing people talk about, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, let's look at some other questions. What is the most you would do for $20?
The most I would do for $20? That's a tough one. I think I'd kiss a guy for $20.
Kiss a guy for $20?
I mean, like
how long? What kind of kiss?
Like a peck. I don't think I'd make out with a guy for $20, but I mean, $20 is
how
$20.
long? Just like a meeting of lips and then
like a mwah.
And a quick separation.
Yeah, I would do that.
$20.
Really, it depends on the whole situation.
What it's like? How much pain would you be willing to endure for $20?
Ooh.
Like you wouldn't like break your arm for $20.
Hell no. The most I would do, that's kind of a tough one. Such as if we're talking about pain.
Mm-hmm.
Not a burn.
Mm-hmm.
I get burned too much at work.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. Probably like an electric shock. Nothing that would.
What kind of electric shock? Like you reach for a doorknob and get shocked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like I reach for a doorknob and then I die.
That would be $20. I'll do it. Death for sure.
I mean, we're gonna live forever, so it doesn't really matter.
Of course. Yeah. Quantum immortality. That's us.
We're gonna take that path. I choose the path I go down.
Mm-hmm.
If you could choose, if you were given the choice of immortality, do you think you'd make it? Do you think you'd do that?
What kind of immortality? Because this is a question. Do I have
what is
good
the
health?
Definition of immortality?
Let's
Joseph?
look it up.
I hate when Google does that. Just give me the definition.
The ability to live forever, eternal life.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how medical technology grows, and also if you're living forever.
Is it a good?
Your wounds, your injuries will add up, and you'll just be a blob.
Right.
Like you break a bone, and it's
weakened forever.
Yeah. So then things like that, I wouldn't want that unless medical technology improved in such a way that could keep me in top-notch health for the rest of my life.
I think we're getting to that point. I think you could do it.
Maybe.
Though I think I wouldn't want immortality, but I'd want a prolonged life. Such as like 300, 400 years.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to live forever. That's too much, in my opinion. And even I think at like 300, I'd be like, I'm ready to die.
Mm-hmm. Side note, here's the thing we should do.
Yeah.
We need to start a separate Reddit account with the name of this.
Which
we'll
we still
answer
have not
the questions.
Out.
No, we'll do that.
I mean, by the time this is published, it'll be figured out.
It has to be. But so we can like
real talk.
We'll start a Reddit for that account, and then we'll answer questions and put it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least I like how we're workbenching it, right?
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Workbenching. Makes sense. Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts, by the way?
Do I believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Is this a?
This is not that.
This is not an Ask Reddit question.
No.
This is an Antonio question.
I need to know.
Okay.
Do
I believe in ghosts? No.
And what's your biggest day-to-day problem?
My biggest day-to-day problem is this an Ask Reddit question?
This is an Ask Reddit question.
You got to preface it with, all right, new Ask Reddit question.
User Papangu.
This is the way I think we should do this. Just user on Reddit asks.
User Papangu asks, hey, what's your biggest day-to-day problem?
My biggest day-to-day problem.
That's so, like, our problems are so mundane.
Okay, I have this issue
Yeah.
where I have long hair, right?
He does. I touched it.
So I have long hair, and when I'm walking to and from class, to and fro, as I walk to and fro class.
To and fro. Such a well-educated man here.
I am. But the wind likes to let me know that I have long hair, and it's just, the wind hits me from the side because of the direction the wind goes and the way I have to walk to class. So then I just have hair in my face while I walk. And I hate it.
Now I have short hair, so that doesn't happen anymore.
This is true. Your hair wasn't that long.
It was
compared
long.
To mine.
Compared to yours, it wasn't that bad. Though the length, let's see your top hair length. It could have been close to about the same.
Yeah.
It was not too far off. I combed it back.
Oh man.
Really. I mean, look at this now.
Oh yeah, that's short now.
That's real short. That used to be a problem, but I think honestly, biggest day-to-day problem is not enough time. Such as like, my body needs a lot of sleep, but I don't give myself a lot of sleep, so I'm perpetually tired.
Yeah.
And I always think I'm wasting time when I sleep.
Okay.
Even though
I've solved this problem where I only sleep 4 hours a day, and I do fine.
Well, because I think your body's like trained to do that. I guess
I
you could
think
say.
To
Maybe
me,
that's just how your body is.
For me, the most important part of sleeping is consistent sleep.
Yeah.
So go to sleep, wake up at the same time every day, which I do. I go to bed 2, wake up 6. That works out for me because I'm consistent about when I sleep. Mm-hmm. If I end up going to sleep early, I am tired for a long time.
Right.
Like last week,
one
day I went to bed at like 11. I was tired all week.
Oh yeah.
And then I finally got back on schedule with my sleep schedule. So for me, that's not a real issue.
Do you think you would ever give up? See, they asked us, I think, what was it, cortex? The sleep?
Yeah.
If you could stay awake all day for 8 hours, there was no productivity, do you think you'd do that?
They said, so you sleep for, like, if you're getting the recommended amount of sleep, you sleep for like 1/3 of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So they said you can stay awake constantly, but you'll lose 1/3 of your productivity.
Right.
So I would give up my third of the day sleeping. Sleeping's just like a distraction.
Yeah.
It's just a break in the middle of concentration.
And the thing is, it's like, if it was you did nothing for the last third, then I would say I'd rather sleep.
Yeah, if you're just sitting there just looking at a wall for like a third of your day.
But if it's like you're just not being productive, I could do all the like mundane things I don't want to do. I could watch whatever series I wanted. I could do all of those things that I don't have time for. And then the other 12 hours, no.
The other 2/3 of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do my work then.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect deal in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to be a teacher, by the way?
Why do I want to be a teacher?
Yeah. Let's get into that real quick.
Okay. We're jumping all over the place. This is not a very well-structured bit.
Not at the beginning, but we're workshopping it. Workshopping it! That's what it is. workbenching, workshopping it.
Okay. Why do I want to be a teacher?
Yeah.
So for me, having a job where you go into an office every day and you sit down at a computer and you do something, it doesn't appeal to me. Even if what I'm doing every day changes, I wouldn't do that. Where being a teacher, you go in every day and you're in this room, same room, every day. But the thing is, with being a teacher, the problems that come up during the day, the questions the students ask and things, you got to come up with the answer to that on the fly.
Right.
So it's like thinking of new ways to teach something, coming up with like new lessons. That the level of creativity that you can still work into your job,
Right.
I think suits me pretty well. Because my other option, other than teaching, would be like field research, like field ecology and kinds of things like that. That would be interesting. So the only other way I could go with my education is either research, teaching, or become a doctor. Don't want to be a doctor. So it's either going to be research or teaching. Teaching, I think, would be the best for me.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
Why? What are you going to do with your...
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, not a fan of high school.
Nope.
Not a fan. Mainly, I don't know. I was very unmotivated, which I'm extremely upset about myself that I just didn't try a little harder. It wasn't a bad time. I didn't like flunk or anything.
Yep.
When I was an average kid in high school, but I could have done more.
Yeah.
But I remember there was always teachers that gave me that motivation that what made me want to come in, made me write the best paper I could. And so I kind of want to give a kid that sort of thing.
So you want to teach as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also there's so many bad teachers out there.
That's true.
I want to be a good teacher. I want someone to
So you'll
kinda
work
get it.
like bacteria, where if you know anything about bacteria, here, dropping my biology major on you.
Boom, 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 boom.
So there's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria.
Life, yeah.
Yeah. So there's actually this thing that happens. This is crazy, right? So you, in your like large intestine, which is like the last thing that your poop has to go to until it's poop.
Yeah.
There's bacteria in there, right? So bad bacteria can get in there and cause issues, right? And the bad bacteria overcrowd the good bacteria and kill it all. So what they do is they take someone else's poop and stick it up your butt.
I think I remember hearing about
And the
that.
good
yeah.
bacteria from this other person then multiplies and overcrowds the bad bacteria and kills all the bad
I
bacteria.
might need that.
That's going to be you, except with bad teachers. You're going to be someone else's poop.
We're gonna end off from Reddit user John Dawn 955.
Okay.
I was gonna say maybe we shouldn't say their names, but if they're publicly putting
they're
their stuff out
publicly
there,
putting this on Reddit.
I don't really care anymore.
This whole podcast, we're just kind of figuring out what we're going to do.
This is a test run. Hopefully, I would stick around a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll get better. In brackets, serious.
Okay. It's a serious question.
So we don't have to take it seriously.
That's what the serious tag means. It means don't take this question too serious.
How to ask a girl to be your girlfriend?
How do you ask a girl to be your girlfriend?
How to ask a girl to be your girlfriend?
Okay.
Question mark?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So, it depends on your age, right?
Okay.
If you're like in like a high school romance or something,
Yeah.
let's say he was even younger, middle school kind of thing. That's something we always experienced, all of us.
Every
Went
single
through
one.
like kind of an awkward age, right?
No, not me.
No, you were never awkward.
I went
never.
from 10
Hey, you
to
remember
16.
freshman year?
Went from 10 to 16.
I sure do. I remember you being very awkward.
I don't think much has changed. I've just matured a little bit.
You just look less awkward to
Yeah.
people. You still act awkward though.
That's true. I can't ask people if I can pet their dogs.
Anyways, you can't ask people if you can pet their dogs. This is a good point. Okay, asking a girl. So it depends on your age. Where I think if you're young enough and you and this person see each other all the time, and you obviously both like each other, you act like that. Where it's like if you see each other in the hallway, you have kind of like a miniature date. If you can kind of get the vibe from this person, that it's like a miniature date, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you have gone on something that like someone would call a date, like you
Essentially,
go out to
maybe.
eat with this person, go to a movie with them.
I think that's mainly what middle schoolers will do with each other.
Yeah. Well, even high school kind of level.
That's true.
But
Always,
just like
always the first date movie. Every time. Doesn't fail.
always a date to a movie.
Well, not always, but like the first one never fails.
Okay.
Figure out what she likes. Figure out what you like. even if you don't like it, take her do it. Boom.
Okay.
But go on with
All
what
right.
you were saying.
I think just be like, maybe you haven't gone on any like real dates. Either one, plant one on her, dude. Just go for it. Worst thing
like a kiss?
Yeah.
What?
Like, you don't have to be like insane about it, but like if you're having a moment, there's a lull in conversation, a little bit of a tender moment happens, go for it.
I've had those.
Right?
With you.
Oh man. So there was this time in high school where I was standing. I was kind of sitting. He walked in front of me. I stood up so he could get by more easily. Mm-hmm. I stood up and our faces met so close that I could feel the heat of his face radiating onto my face. We looked at each other and we knew if there was ever a moment that we were going to kiss, it was then.
It was so strong. It's like when, and it felt so natural. Like if you kiss your significant other right now, like that's how natural it felt at the moment.
However, that's also the moment I go, I'm straight.
Yeah, neither of us are anything like that.
Yeah.
In any way. So that was such a weird moment that actually kind of happened.
Yeah.
But you think you should just plant one on them? This is kind of divulging from how you ask this girl out.
Yeah. Now, if this guy's older, right, and he wants this girl to, like, take a term from...
So, wait, hold on, before you start. The middle school
option
is you kiss them, and if they don't kiss you back, then you're just like, we're done.
That, or you can just be like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend now?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? So, maybe I'm just a romantic, taking a trick from an older generation. Ask this person, you've gone out on a few dates, right? Just be like, hey, you want to go steady?
Yeah.
Where it's like, maybe you don't use the word go steady, but just like,
essentially
hey, you want to be like more serious about a relationship.
Yeah. That's your way of doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the same exact way. That's how I asked Chloe out.
Mm.
And I was like, see, that always just felt weird, like, do you want to go out with me? Because going out to me implies actually going on a date or doing something like that. When I want someone to be my girlfriend, it's, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? You have to be straight up about it. You can't like beat around the bush, because if she doesn't want it, right there you'll know right away. But if she does, she'll say yes. You can't this whole working around and then at one point like, what are we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See,
make it clear.
What happened with me is we went out. We'd been dating for a while. Like we go on dates, right? Then at some point I get that text. What are we? And you know what I did? I said, let's not worry about it right now. Because you know where I was going?
God.
I was about to go on a ski trip. So I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to really have to think about it too much.
With it later.
It's
Don't
like
worry
I didn't
about it.
know how this relationship was going to pan out. We'd gone on like maybe 3 dates by then, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see how things panned out. That was me at this point in time.
Yeah.
So I told her, let's wait. We'll figure it out. Then, this was in high school. There was a school dance. Me, being an edgy loner, doesn't go to school dances. She
still was, always will be.
An edgy loner.
No, edgy loner.
Joe Young. So she goes to a school dance. I do not. I go out to eat with a friend who also was at the school dance. I meet up with him after. And so my friend looks at me and he goes, hey, I think that she's going to ask you if it's okay that she calls you her boyfriend. I'm like, I forgot that before I told her that, like, we're going to worry about this later.
What the Joe?
Okay, so
oh my God.
Then I get this text from her following what this guy that I went out to eat with told me.
Yep.
And she goes, hey, so tonight you came up in conversation a lot. I just told people you were my boyfriend. I go, you know what's pretty neat? I always just tell people you're my girlfriend. And from that moment on, we just kind of like agreed. See, I should have dealt with it earlier.
Yeah.
But no, apparently skiing was much more important to me.
You think you would have changed that now?
If I could go back and when she goes, hey, what are we? I would have said, you're my girlfriend. I would have said that. But I didn't. So.
No, that's too hard, you know?
That takes too much commitment.
And well, see, but that was at a time when you weren't committing to the bits.
This is true. But back to this kid.
Yeah. Straight up.
If you're old enough, maybe she's a coworker, maybe she's the barista at the coffee shop that you go to.
Okay,
okay.
Stop, you're right.
No, I'm stopping. Don't go out with coworkers.
Don't go out
whatever.
with coworkers. Don't go out with
God.
anybody in the service business. I mean, like that you meet through them. If you go to a bar and you meet this girl and she's like, "Oh, I'm a barista," that's like, "Oh, cool." But you don't go to your barista and be like, "Hey, you wanna You want to?
I'm just giving. I didn't say that was the right thing to do. I'm just giving possible scenarios.
I'll just say
He's
that
met
right
this
now.
girl. He's gone out with her a few times.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how they met. Doesn't matter if she's his barista.
Don't work with coworkers.
Anyways,
Don't do it.
so I'm saying, this girl, you've gone out a few times. Ask her if you want to go steady. I just realized we already answered this like 5 minutes ago. I don't know why I brought this back up and decided to answer it
Yeah,
again.
go steady. But I mean, we talked about it in the high school level. That's the thing.
No, then I also said, if you're not in high school, what you do, taking a trick from an older generation, ask them to go steady.
Oh, I thought you were also
So we'll
applying
clip
that
this
to high
part
school
out.
as well. Hey, one more question. Also about dating. Do you ask a girl to kiss her first? Or
Do
just
you ask
kiss
a
her?
girl to kiss her first?
Because when I had my first kiss with my current girlfriend, it was I was very scared at that point, but I remember taking a trick from an older generation, as you said. I learned this from my father, my stepfather. That's gonna get confusing. I really should.
Yep.
Yeah. And first time he kissed my mom, he asked her, and I thought that makes sense.
Yep.
Because if you just go in for the kiss and they don't want to,
Yeah.
that's the
but
worst.
Like what I was talking about, like middle school,
Middle
younger
school is
level.
nothing.
It's like this person obviously has to want you to kiss them
Yeah.
for you to actually go in and do it.
Right. But I remember that was like the first time I kissed her. I was like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" And she said yes. And now we're here.
Yeah. So
And-
what happened for me? I was gonna drive her home one day. We're by my car. We're just kind of standing there. We're talking a little bit, and so then she was telling me about a joke someone had made to her, where they said she needed to just go up to me and tell me to kiss her, and then we laughed. I looked at her and I go, "Do you want me to kiss you?" And then she said, "Yeah." So then I did.
Yeah, it just seems weird to me to just kind of going for it. And some people are like, it's more romantic when you do it like that. No, it's just kind of creepy when you do it like that. And when you say it in that voice, then it gets even weirder.
That is true.
Good note to end on?
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
I'd say as far as first podcasts go, ours was a jumbled mess,
Yeah.
but could have gone worse, and I think we'll improve.
Slowly.